Hello, everybody. Welcome to the very first installment of Robert Reads. I am an English teacher. I've taught high school English for 33 years in central Nebraska. As I get closer and closer to retirement, I need to find a hobby. Obviously, reading is big with me. My retirement job in a couple of years, I'll hopefully be working at our public library in town. But I need something to fill time. So I'm going to talk about books. I mean, nothing unusual for me. I've been doing it for a long time. I became a big reader in high school. In my sophomore English class, I read Macbeth. Always been my favorite piece of literature. So I'm going to talk about books. I'm going to talk about books here. No set schedule. When a book strikes me as a good one, record a video and tell you what I thought about it, and then try to get you to read it as well. Occasionally I'll revisit a classic. There's a lot of great books out there. Some that I've loved for years and years and years, taught dozens and dozens of times. So it'll be a mix of contemporary books and some old classic books, an occasional Shakespearean play or a little Chaucer or something like that. Those never go away as being great books. So for my very, very first one here, I'm going to give a little talk about a book that completely surprised me, Sally Rooney's Intermezzo. Completely taken by surprise, this book. I've not read any Sally Rooney books before. I've looked at them, Normal People. In fact, I just ordered that one after I finished Intermezzo. I read a lot about Intermezzo over the last couple months, a couple book podcasts, some reviews, a big reader of book reviews when I choose my books. So I gave it a shot. Honestly, it's on sale for half price at Barnes & Noble over Christmas break, so I picked it up and absolutely fell in love with this book. Some things about it that really struck me. Had to get used to the style. To be honest, I'm not a huge reader of Irish writers. I had to break through that a little bit. Of course, I'm thinking of James Joyce, for instance, who I just cannot get a hold of. I've tried and tried and tried. Some of his shorter books are okay, but Ulysses, I've tried 3 times and failed 3 times reading that book. Something about the accent and stuff like that. I will say that I read Say Nothing a few months ago, a piece of nonfiction, which takes place in Northern Ireland, and absolutely loved that piece of nonfiction. In fact, that's probably going to be talked about here sometime over the summer. So let's give the novelist a shot. A lot of things about this book I really enjoyed. Part of it had to get used to the style. The style was interesting. I'm not going to call it difficult, not going to call it easy, but I wasn't ready for it. Incredibly long paragraphs. I had to really get past the no quotation marks that bothered me so much. Once I did, zero problems at all. It wasn't nobody spoke with a thick Irish accent. She doesn't write that way. In fact, I really got wrapped up in the paragraphs. I started looking forward to those long 2 or 3 page paragraphs, and the dialogue flowed so well despite the lack of question marks. So I really enjoy that. About the book itself, probably should say I'm going to try not to give everything away, but I'll give you a good enough synopsis of the plot to encourage you to read it without too many spoilers, I hope. So the crux of this book is we have 2 brothers. It's really a book about relationships. We have 2 brothers, Ivan and Peter, separated by about 10 years in age, Ivan being the younger one, Peter being the older one. Ivan has just graduated from college with an engineering degree, no permanent job yet, but he's a chess wizard. Chess wizard has been since he was a teenager. And then Peter is an attorney, about 32 years old, they each have their own struggles. Ivan has been pretty much womanless, no strong female relationship in his life, although he's looking. And Peter has had a really serious one. Something happened there, and now he's bouncing. So related by blood, not so much in common. So we'll talk about those conflicts here. With Ivan, I mentioned he's a chess prodigy, and he's moving up the rankings in chess. I play chess very amateurishly. My dad taught me. I don't know much about the chess world, but he's moving up in rankings. But he's kind of fallen off. He's kind of lost interest. He's had a couple rough matches. He just kind of lost interest in playing chess. I'm not sure if he's going to continue playing that. Whereas Peter is a successful attorney, a barrister, in British English. Irish English, I suppose, too. We would call him an attorney or lawyer. Pretty successful. Does a lot of cases, really a socially conscious type of lawyer, tries to help people who need that help. Both have their own struggles with relationships. Peter it was in a long-term one with Sylvia, who's a professor, by the way. 6 years plus, looked like they're headed towards a permanent kind of situation, but there was an accident. We never see the accident. We find out that she was really, really injured badly and never really fully came back from it. Long time off of work, a lot of physical pain. She's in pain constantly in the book. And she tells Peter, move on. I can't be with you. It's not fair to you to stay with me. So he reluctantly kind of does. Now, we don't see this as his backstory. So he starts bouncing. He starts bouncing around women way younger than he is, college age, 10 years younger, sometimes a little more than that. Can't really find a permanent one. Naomi is as close as he gets to one. She's 22, kind of a partier. He depends on her for physical things, a little bit of emotional stuff, but really Sylvia's his emotional go-to. She still needs him as well. I mean, there's a really good scene in the book where she kind of falls off, I won't say the map, but she kind of disappears for a while, doesn't show up to work. Peter contacts her after not hearing her for a couple of days, and she's just having a great amount of pain again. So he goes to the pharmacy for the chemist, gets the medicine for her, helps take care of her again, kind of nurses her a little bit, although she's very, very reluctant to have him do that. He does it because he's obviously still in love with her. She is with him as well. It's just they've agreed that it's not going to work out because of the physical issues with them. Other side, younger brother Ivan has never had a serious relationship. He's kind of fallen for somebody. He goes to a chess exhibition at a smaller town outside of Dublin. They live in Dublin, Ireland. He goes to a smaller town north of Dublin, I believe, and he puts on a chess exhibition. He plays 20, 25 people all at the same time and beats all of them. The lady who's running the exhibition for the community center is named Margaret, and she's about 10 years older, maybe a little bit older than Peter is even, so 15 years older than Ivan is, but he kind of falls for her. And they're very, very methodical with it, very slow. He wants to be with her, he wants to talk to her, but he's also very cautious with that. She's with him. Probably because of the age difference more than anything else. Now, eventually that blooms into a pretty good relationship. That also has a lot of awkwardness. So he doesn't want to tell anybody about it because of the age. She doesn't want to tell you about it because of the age difference. But eventually, Peter and Ivan go out to dinner, and he tells her about it. And Peter is really upset with Ivan dating somebody so much older than he is. What's it going to be like in the future? What kind of future do they have? He's upset with Peter because he dates people so much younger. What about Sylvia? I mean, they can't settle on anything here. So we have that brother relationship is really, really a good, well-written relationship. Compound this brother-to-brother conflict, their dad just passed away. Underneath all this, they're struggling with the death of their father, and they're both handling it in different ways. Now, we've all heard that we all deal with death in different ways, and each brother is doing just that. Both would probably make a mistake by not fully admitting to it or accepting their father's death. Mom is way away from Dublin, doesn't live with them. They stay in kind of contact with her. She's remarried, has some stepchildren, but not a real close relationship there. They're not just sure what to do without their father, who also took care of their dog. They're adults, but sometimes they don't always behave that way. Again, struggling with what to do about their dad. Each of the brothers also has an internal conflict. I think this is where the novel adds a lot of depth. Internal conflict. What the heck is Peter going to do? He's fighting himself. What do I do with Sylvia? I've fallen in love with her. He's fallen in love with her. She's making him a better person, but there is an age difference. And she vocalizes that. She's worried about that. She goes, okay, we're 10 years older. So and you're 22 right now. I'm 35-ish. You're going to be 32. I'm going to be 45-ish. There's no hope for children here. What are we going to do as I get older? You have to take care of me. She's really, really worried about that, in my opinion, too worried about that. I'm a hopeless romantic, although I'm very happily married and have been for 35 years. I want them to I always like when the characters throw themselves into a relationship, not recklessly, but follow their heart and not so much the brain, although it's hard to do. And I think we all struggle with that. I know I struggle with that a little bit. So they do, since she lives out of town, they don't spend a lot of time together, all the time that they maybe want to, but that grows and grows and grows, despite the confusion what to do with each other. Sylvia is struggling with herself, just the opposite of that. Ivan has huge struggles. He is madly in love with Sylvia. He doesn't want to fully admit that because she told him to move on. but he knows he is. So he bounces from girl to girl to girl and is never really happy with any of them. He's very dissatisfied. He tries to be in love with Naomi. He tries to do what's right, but he just can't do it because it's not the right one for him. So how are all these people going to work it out? How is Sylvia going to work it out with Ivan? How is Naomi going to work it out? Or excuse me, Peter's going to work out with his older girlfriend. Let's confuse that a little bit. Sylvia and Ivan had that old relationship. You throw Naomi, the young girl, in there. How are they going to work it out? They all want to take care of Ivan. He wants to take care of both of them, but how can they all do that together? Again, no spoilers here, but you left this idea that they're going to try to work it out, the three of them, as a unit, I suppose, is the best way to do it. The brothers have to confront this conflict they're having, not just with the death of their father, but with each other, because they stop speaking. They stop speaking completely. So they will do that. Let's just leave it at that. Let's not give away how they do it, but they will do that. They will come to terms with it. One thing that Ivan's older girlfriend does for him is gives him the confidence to play chess again. Just as he's about to quit, he enters a tournament. He wants his next level up, wins the tournament, and gets that next level because of her. So that goes to symbolism. There's a lot of great symbols in this book, and the title is a huge one. Intermezzo means a couple different things, and yeah, I did have to look it up for all you young readers out there. That's who I'm talking to. Look up words you don't know. It's okay. I encourage my students to do it all the time. They're reluctant to do that. You're on your phone anyway. Put the phone down while you're reading. Word you don't know shows up, look it up your phone, then put the phone back, all right? Intermezzo has two different meanings, really, although very, very similar. One is an opera. It's an interlude to an opera, usually between acts. Bigger meaning, I think, in this book, though, is the idea of chess. Chess players have plans of attack. Chess is a symbolic game of warfare. So every chess player, the good ones, I assume, not me, have this plan of attack. And intermezzo is something the opponent does to kind of throw that attack off. It interrupts the attack. So if you look at this book, you take the idea of intermezzo, be it an interlude in an opera or a move that breaks up a chess attack. The adult brothers are doing the exact same thing. The intermezzo is their father's death. How are they going to handle it? What are they going to do with this? My wife accuses me all the time of liking books that don't have happy endings, and she's right. I prefer more realistic endings. Sally Rooney has done a really, really marvelous job with her conclusion to the book here. She has great characters. She has a great plot line, great depth to characters, the internal conflicts, the depth. The dynamic characters are fantastic. She also has a really nice written plot here where it's not too happy for me, but it's also not depressing where you're bleak, which I usually kind of side towards those. I was happy with it. Intermezzo is a book that surprised the heck out of me. So much so, I ordered another book by Sally Rooney here, Normal People. I'll get to that here eventually, summer or fall. It's on my shelf back here. I'm looking forward to reading it, where as reluctant as I was coming into Intermezzo, I came out a huge Sally Rooney fan. I can only hope that she continues to write books like this, explore relationships, give me more about Ireland. I can learn a lot from that too. And they keep challenging me with that style. Her style, don't be daunted by it. It's a tough style, but it's very, very tough on the surface. Once you get into it, it flows so nicely. She has such good flow to her writing. She's such a skillful writer. Cannot say this again more than I already have. I would definitely highly recommend Intermezzo. I would put it at 4.5 stars out of 5. I couldn't quite give it 5. There's some things I didn't love, but just a couple tiny things. It's a fantastic book. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Look for some more Robert is Reading videos. Once school's out, I'll do them a little more frequently. I've got to be struck by a book. I'm not going to put any books on here or talk about books that I don't like. I'm only going to go with good ones. I promise. Some classic ones, but some good ones. Thanks, guys. Talk soon.